A long time ago, I created this inverted pyramid of Rotary, and I didn't invent it, it's all our numbers. But the important thing about this slide is that at the very top of it is all of us. The 1.2 million members of our great organization are the reason that everybody below it exists. Our 1.2 million members belong to over 36,000 Rotary clubs. The average size of a Rotary club right now is somewhere between 25 and 30. So if you've ever had the opportunity to go to Madison downtown, which hovers around 500, you will know exactly what an anomaly that kind of a club is. So we as members make up all of our clubs, and our clubs are actually the members of Rotary International. And our clubs are divided geographically, as Bill showed us on our District 6250. We are all divided geographically into a group, and our leader is our district governor. And again, to echo John, we are so fortunate to have Bill Pritchard as our district governor this year. If he hasn't been to your club yet, just wait. He's phenomenal, and he will inspire every single member of your club. Those districts are also grouped geographically into 34 zones throughout our Rotary world. And when zones were first created, they had two purposes. One was to keep past district governors informed and engaged, but even more importantly than that, it was to elect the directors of Rotary International. Each of those 34 zones is paired with another geographically close, in most cases, zone. So at the Rotary International level, and I'm not going to step on Ed's toes very much here, I hope, but we have 17 directors serving at Rotary International every year, plus the president and plus the president-elect. And at the base of our pyramid is our structural organization, our extraordinary staff, of whom there are approximately 800 globally. So when you look at the top, with all of us, 1.2 million, we know that it takes a pretty incredible structure and base to hold us all together. The purpose, and I'm going to go back to the zones. The purpose of the zones today, I think, is really to help our clubs and our members be bigger, better, and bolder. We have several what are called regional leaders that, again, because they're geographically located, they're very convenient to all of our clubs when we are looking for help, be it foundation help, be it membership help, whatever, they're there to help us. We have regional leaders in the form of regional Rotary Foundation coordinators. So we have one regional Rotary Foundation coordinator, and then depending on the size of the zone, they have assistant regional Rotary Foundation coordinators that are closer to all of us on the ground. The same structure holds true for our Rotary coordinators, and our Rotary coordinators are primarily focused on membership matters. So if you want to form a new kind of club, as I know we're going to talk about later on, if you need help in your existing club, how do we attract more diverse members from our community? How do we get our members engaged? Any of those kinds of questions that I think our clubs all struggle with from time to time. The Rotary coordinator team is available to help you. And I got to tell you, if there is one plus out of COVID, it's that these people will come to your Zoom meetings anytime you want. As an aside, our current president, Holger Knack, has probably visited more clubs so far in just 2 months than any other Rotary International president. And it's because when clubs invite him to speak, he says, of course I'll speak. Just keep in mind that he's in Germany, so I think he's about 6 or 7 hours. Bob, how much difference in time is that? About 6 or 7 hours? But these people are available to help us, and they as resources have never been more convenient than they are now through COVID. The third part of that kind of tri-legged stool are the Rotary Public Image Coordinators. And they are here to help all of us do a better job of promoting the work of our clubs, of our members, in our communities, outside of our communities, and getting some good press using the normal mainstream press that we're used to and social media. All of the people that serve as our picks are media experts. So that's kind of the top tier of our zone opportunities. And again, I don't ever want anyone to think that because we're a club, we can't reach out to them. Because we're just a Rotarian, we can't reach out to them. They are here to serve each and every one of us. And I'm telling you, every single one of them would be tickled to get a call saying, we need your help. How can you help us accomplish XYZ? The foundation coordinators work on both sides. They work on the grant side in assisting us as a resource, and they also work on the fund development side of supporting our Rotary Foundation. And so if you want to have a foundation program in your club to talk about supporting the Rotary Foundation, start with Bill, and he can get you in touch with these people, or your assistant governor, and they can help you get in touch with these people. John did ask us to tell a couple stories, and so if you don't mind my diverting a little bit, when we were at the Hamburg convention last year, a woman spoke on diversity, equity, and inclusiveness. And DEI is very important to Rotary, and our board of directors have taken it one step further, and they have developed a plan for diversity, equity, and inclusiveness. But this one speaker defined it best for me, and it was really the diversity and the inclusiveness. She said, diversity is inviting someone to a dance. So imagine inviting someone to your club. Inclusiveness is asking them to dance. I love that. And I think it really defines what the difference is. We can invite people to our clubs every day of the week. But if we don't welcome them, if we don't ask them what their passions are and how the club can fulfill those passions, we're missing the inclusiveness. I think in terms of when a new member comes and all of us, and this is, visualize that we're meeting in person, which I think for some of us is becoming harder and harder to do. But when we all sit like cliques at a table, it's pretty hard for a new person to feel like they're on the inside of the circle instead of the outside. So just think about that. Inviting someone to the dance and asking them to dance are the things that distinguish those two things. I joined Rotary almost 33 years ago. I joined the first year that women were admitted to Rotary membership in the United States. And our club, and Steve Awney, our club president, is on the call too. And this was long before Steve joined our club, but our club used to participate in the Dane County Paint-a-thon. And we used to paint the house of typically an elderly person who just didn't have the means physically to paint their own house. So I signed up for this my first year that I was a member. And I have to tell you, I have no painting ability whatsoever. And I made that very clear when I volunteered. Well, I got paired up with a woman by the name of Jane Wojcik, who was a retired nutritional professor at the University of Wisconsin at the time. The best way to describe her was that she was probably my mom's age. And I thought, I'm not sure I want to spend an entire Saturday with the equivalent of my mom. I love my mom, but I just wasn't sure that I wanted to do that. And I hemmed and hawed, and the whole week leading up to it, I was thinking of ways that I could maybe get out of it or ask to be assigned somewhere else. Well, as it turns out, Jane has the same exact lack of painting ability as I do. So that, number one, connected us. But number two, we were assigned to do all of the basement window wells, windows that no one was ever going to need to open. So it didn't matter how much paint got on these. Do you know that Jane and I never stopped talking from the time we started on our first window until we finished at the end of the day? We became very good friends following that extraordinary engagement opportunity. She served as our club secretary for several years, of which I had the opportunity to serve as our club president, which made us even closer. She retired from Rotary when she and her husband moved downtown Madison, and it just wasn't nearly as convenient to get out to the far west side. But every once in a while, I run into Jane, and it's like we've never skipped a beat. We catch up where we left off. And that, to me, is what Rotary is all about. And I look at so many familiar faces on this call, and it just seems like we are all really good old friends. And I think we all have the responsibility to share this extraordinary opportunity with people that are not yet Rotarians, that we all know would be great Rotarians. One other thing I would like to share, and this is, I heard Holger say this, I was invited to a meeting of the Omaha Suburban Rotary Club a couple weeks ago, of which Holger was the speaker, And one of the words that he's using a lot this year, and I think Bill is actually using it quite a bit too, and that is the word pivot. I think we as Rotarians have learned in an extraordinarily short amount of time how to pivot, to be creative, to be effective, and to continue to place service above self. Thank you.